This is the Player 4 Podcast. Join us each week as we talk about video games, entertainment, and pop culture, and bring in guests from the Rooster Teeth community. Player 4 has entered the game.
Hello and welcome to the Player 4 Podcast. Hello,
Woo!
I am Tristan, aka Shagwasir on the Rooster Teeth website.
I'm Alex, aka Chaos Black 21.
And I'm Malachi, a.k.a. Tsukikibo.
And we are short a Joseph because he is too busy being all vacation-y.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Vacation.
I mean, he's got spring break, so I assume he's down in, like, Cancun.
Spring.
Spring break!
We're talking about spring.
Yeah,
I almost got, like, 2 feet of snow here.
I'm sure he's lifting his shirt down in Cancun, getting all the beads and the...
Oh my god, beads.
And everything, you know.
Beads and everything.
By the way, are you
Beads.
you getting any of this terrible weather, Tristan, down there? Or wherever you're
Did
at?
I get any of it? No, it only pissed 18 inches of snow on me.
It's okay, guys. I barely got anything.
Oh, that's nice.
I only had to shovel my own driveway, though, because I'm an engineer and I don't have to do manual labor for money.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Luckily, I have a snowblower.
Snowblower here sucks a butt.
So, I took away some of my work for that thing until I broke the pull string. And
You
then-
broke the pull string. You were jacking it too hard.
I was. I had to pull the
Jacking
cap
it
off
too
and had to
hard.
jimmy rig it to get it to work. It works, though.
It's not Jimmy, it's Jerry.
Jerry,
Jerry's a much better
Jimmy.
guy.
Jimmy's
Jerry
your
rig
favorite.
it.
You can Jimmy something up, or you can Jerry rig something. Or you can jury rig it. That's also acceptable.
I like jerry rig.
Well, it comes from, if my memory serves, it's a World War II term where Jerry was or maybe it's even a World War I term, but Jerry was a derogatory term for a German soldier. And so jerry-rigging meant making something work even though it shouldn't, in the same way the German soldiers would make weapons and tanks work. Now you know. The more you know. Oh, good. I get to use that slate again. Tristan cast.
No,
Yes! It's the Tristan cast!
this is not the Tristan cast.
This could
We are-
possibly be the Tristan cast.
Oh my god, he's gonna make his head bigger than both of ours again.
Well, he's lacking in other
Great.
areas, so it's okay.
Oh,
Just for that,
Dookie
I'm
got
also
it.
going to put a giant penis on the screen. And
Hey,
I'm not
hey,
going to censor
we
it.
have to be kid friendly.
We're not gonna censor it. Yeah, we're kid friendly here.
I'm just going to have it dangling down from my giant oversized portrait.
Oh god.
And it's all Dookie's fault.
So it's essentially gonna be hanging from your chin, but instead of being a Balchinian, you're gonna be a Chinian.
Yeah, it's like a first name almost. It's better than
What
being a
movie is that
cast.
from? I can't
It's
remember.
Men in Black!
There we go.
How could you
Men
forget
in
that?
Black.
He's a
How did I
Balchinian.
forget it? I haven't seen Men in Black 2 in a while, or whichever Men in Black it
You're
is.
correct.
Men in Black 2. It was a good movie. It was a decent movie. I liked it. It's not good in the first one. It was good. Never saw the third one. I don't think I saw the third. I did not see the third one.
I think I only seen parts of the third one. But anyways,
But
Yeah.
anyways,
we're in trouble without Joseph.
He's like,
why are we in trouble? We can talk about whatever the heck we
yeah,
want.
we can shoot
You know
this
what? You know what I
shit
wrote
all
on the
night.
schedule for today's podcast? Nothing.
You know what? 2-hour podcast.
All right, we're gonna do it.
No.
What should we should talk about? Dragons. I'm sorry, that just came to mind because I've been watching Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid.
And also because you're going to sick a dragon on us in D&D and kill us all.
Soon, not yet. Soon. I'm still playing.
Soon as in by the time we get to level 20?
I mean, definitely before then. It'll be
Oh.
great. You guys are going to take on this legendary ancient green dragon. She's just going to eat you. It's gonna
But
be
I don't
amazing.
get to fly till level 20.
I know. That's why it's going to be amazing.
Well, you know, when the DM throws a dragon in there, just to kind of push the party in a direction, and then one party member gets the bright idea just to
Fight
shoot
the dragon.
arrows at it when it's supposed to be just to scare them, and then they all die.
Let me tell you a little
That's
story.
gonna be Vendar.
Let me tell you a little story about one of my first D&D campaigns. In, like, session number 2, there were only 3 of us playing at the time. I think that campaign started at level 14. So we were 14th level, and a level 24 red dragon descended upon us and started talking. And the other 2 players in my party decided it would be a good idea to fight.
Oh, I remember this. I remember you telling this, but keep going, keep going.
One of them was a war mage, and on the first round, after being attacked, the dragon roared at the group, which was a Constitution save or die. The war mage died of a heart attack, very undignifiedly. And after that, the enraged ranger, who was neutral good, rolled nature and realized that red dragons are evil, and therefore he must destroy. So he charged in, swords first, and he got gravity reversed and flew way up in the air until gravity stopped being reversed. And then he came all the way back down and died from the fall. Yeah. I was the only one still alive.
Oh, maybe this is a different story than what you told before.
Oh, is it?
Because I remember you telling a story that you came across a dragon. Like, I think you were the first one that reached the dragon in your group. And then, the dragon talked to you or whatever. And so you, were bowing to the dragon. The others came up and were like, let's go attack it. And so they fought it. They all died, and you stayed alive because you're like, I'm not attacking this dragon.
Well, that is the same moment. But I did get there first, but I didn't actually see the dragon. When I got there, we had been in a dragon temple, and we got there was a teleporter that I walked through, and I was the first one to go through it, so I was the first one to appear on the other side, and I was on the top of a mountain, and all you heard was the GM says you hear, wind rushing. It sounds like big leathery wings. I'm like, it's probably a dragon. And I just come out of a dragon temple. So without anybody telling me, I'm like, yeah, he's probably used to people coming up here and worshiping him. So I'm going to pretend to be one of the worshipers. So that's why I knelt down and started, praying to this thing effectively. The other 2 popped in, and the war mage, he tells the war mage, you hear wind rushing like great flapping leathery wings. He's like, okay, I don't know what's coming. Could be a dragon. I'm going to prepare an action to attack, if anything takes a hostile action. And he prepares the spell Disintegrate. And in 3.5, this is why it came up a few sessions ago. In 3.5, if you prepared an action and the trigger came, you didn't get to choose not to do it. Mm-hmm. Even if your situation changed and you realized, you say, I prepare an action to attack anyone that comes around this corner, and then, a 5-year-old comes around the corner, you don't get to say, oh my god, it's a 5-year-old, I don't attack him. No, you fucking decapitate the kid. So, that's why I was surprised when in 3.5 somebody prepared an action, and then they decided they didn't want to do it, and I was like, I think you have to do it, and the rule in 5th edition says you don't have to do it. In 3.5, you didn't get that option. So, the dragon comes down and casts a curse on all 3 of us, which is a hostile action. However, it was a story curse. We would have been cursed anyway. There weren't 2 ways around that, but it was still a hostile action, so it triggered his prepared action to disintegrate. And he casts Disintegrate on the dragon, who has massive magic resistance, because it's a dragon.
Yeah.
And so, a couple scales disintegrate, and the dragon gets pissed and roars at him, and he dies, because it's a save or die effect, and he failed.
Oh, man.
Mine wasn't as elaborate at that. It was just simply, the dragon's flying over in their 4th level, and he got the bright idea, hey, I'm going to shoot an arrow at it. And then he turned into a pile of smoldering flesh.
Yeah. Moral of the story is, be smart. You're not always going to be thrust into a combat that you are expected to fight. You should try to assess. Yeah, you should try to assess what's going on before you declare an action.
So that's our group.
Because you might actually be in a fight that you can't win.
Except last night we did assess it, and we're like, oh, they're okay, and they end up not being okay.
Yes, well, you trusted the wrong foresters.
Hey, we got through it.
No one had sense motive?
Well, sense motive isn't a skill in 5th edition, but insight is, and
divine sense, and I didn't think to use either of them.
Good job.
I mean, to be fair, divine sense probably wouldn't have helped, because these things weren't just like waiting in the grass for 4 hours. So having cast it when you were on watch, it wouldn't have detected them.
Yeah, but it also detects desecrated stuff. So like, who knows? Their stuff with all the symbols could have been detected possibly.
Desecrated? It discovers extraplanar and undead.
It says, and I took this from the thing. I'm gonna bring it out.
All right, we're going full D&D now podcast. I hope you enjoy this. We are rules lawyering now.
4 per day. Locate celestial fiend undead within 60 feet. Also for places / objects that have been desecrated or consecrated.
Okay. Okay. Those are very specific things. Desecrate and consecrate are spells.
Well, they were doing spells!
No, I mean, desecrate is a spell that has an effect that says this area in this circle is now desecrated. Anything that enters this area has this effect put on it.
Oh, so you can sense a spell, not accidentally.
You can sense an area that has had the desecrate spell placed on it, or the bless consecrate spell put on it. Consecrate, like, heals your allies and damages your enemies.
Well, either way, I have insight is one of my specialties, but I didn't know what the hell insight actually was until I asked him last night. So now, from now on, every time I meet someone and talk to them, I'm gonna be like, Tristan, I'm rolling insight.
Every single one.
Insight is hashtag lie detector.
He's gonna get so pissed at me.
You roll insight against their subterfuge, their con, whatever it's called in 5th edition.
Wait. I wonder if Alex rolls insight poorly, does he give the person he's trying to insight a dumb look, and they be like, "Why you look at me like that?"
No. If you roll lower on insight than they do on their con check, then you can't tell if they're trying to lie to you or not.
I could just imagine Alex looking at with a very dumb face. If you
roll higher than them on their con check and they're not lying, then you can't tell if they're trying to lie to you or not. If you roll higher to them and they are trying to lie to you, then you will sense that they are hiding certain facts from you.
I just want
and it's just all about trying to get those facts.
Well, yeah, I mean, literally, the result is, you roll insight, they roll con, they are lying, you roll higher. It seems like they're not representing everything they know to you, and if you roll lower, they seem to be honest.
All right. Well, that was the D&D side of it.
There you go. Are you sure? We can do more D&D.
I thought we were going to argue about RWBY.
We can argue about RWBY. It's true. We did kind of want to sit a few moments to talk about RWBY again because Joseph isn't here to stop us. Haha, Joseph. We're not bad people. So we got into a tiff on episode 99 where we were discussing the season finale of RWBY season 4, not 5. And we were talking about the plot arcs and the very uncertain elements that they used, most especially the reveal, in giant air quotes, of Ren's semblance. We talked a little bit about this, and it sounded at first like we understood what it was, and as we discussed it more, we realized we have no idea what it is.
By the way, okay, so full disclosure, I do have the RWBY wiki up here. And I don't know if you noticed.
Who manages the RWBY wiki?
Fans.
Okay, so they know.
So they don't know anything, and that's why
they know as much as us.
That's why I think this is hilarious.
Okay.
Because I don't know if you heard me kind of like give kind of a laugh when we first started the podcast. So this is what it says about his semblance. I quote: "Helps to avoid detection by Grimm." Thanks. So there we go. That clears everything.
Yeah, perfect. So yes, as we saw in the episodes where it is displayed, it appears to make whoever's affected by it suddenly unnoticed by Grimm, even if a moment earlier the Grimm was staring at them with death in its eyes. So we've been discussing this and hammering it back and forth, and we have reasonings and arguments, and we're still not sure. But my conjecture, I contend that this is an invisibility thing, because while other things make sense based on some of the visuals, that would, if it was anything other than straight invisibility, he would have the single most useless semblance in the entire show so far. Because everyone else can use their semblance against any opponent they're fighting, including other hunters. And you're telling me that if it's make you undetectable to Grimm, by whatever means, and you can tell me what you think the means are, because while I don't like that explanation, I do agree with the means, you can't use that against non-Grimm opponents, whereas Ruby's speed and like Yang's damage absorption, the glyphs that Vice uses, all of them are usable against anything you want to fight, including buildings.
I actually disagree, and I don't think it's invisibility, because I think that everyone else could still see them.
I know. I don't. So, I would be upset if it's not invisibility just because of that argument. I'm not saying it is invisibility. I'm saying it probably should be, because otherwise he can use his semblance against Grimm. Period. That's it. Nobody else.
Well, to be fair, hunters and huntresses are really supposed to be using their powers and their abilities against Grimm. They're not really supposed to be fighting each other. That's what's so crazy right now.
Who's about the BBEG?
What?
Who is the BBEG right now?
BBEG.
Big bad evil guy.
It's a person, but that's what's so crazy is because it throws a wrench into the gears, because they aren't really supposed to be, like, humanity's all supposed to band together to fight the Grimm.
How often has humanity ever done that? Humanity fights itself, and humanity fights absolutely everything else that seems to want to take humanity's place at the top of the food chain. What do you think the Faunus have been fighting for decades?
Listen, there is so many people out there that probably have semblances that there's going to be some that cater to a specific type of thing, and Renz is probably fighting Grimm.
That is unfortunate. For him, because they're fighting an enemy that isn't Grimm. They use Grimm, but again, like I said on episode 99, it means that he has a semblance that is useful in only the case that he wants to sneak past or away from Grimm, or help somebody else do the same. But if he goes up against a non-Grimm opponent with no Grimm around, and nobody who needs to sneak away from Grimm or past Grimm, then using his semblance is inadvisable.
But if he had invisibility, it'd be kind of OP.
It'd be kind of OP. I mean, what is it? What's her name? Emerald?
Yeah.
Okay. She has effectively invisibility. She can affect one person's mind to make them see whatever she wants, or not see whatever she wants.
Actually, she can affect multiple people.
She can, but it's more difficult.
Yes.
So there is a limit, and probably training could help her expand that limit, but there's a limit to how many people she can affect at once. That's why the fight in, what was that, season 3? 2?
Yeah, no,
that was season 2, right? Season 2.
No.
When Yang takes
3.
out Mercury?
It was season 3.
3?
Yeah.
Yes.
That was season 3.
Yeah, that was season 3. So when Yang takes out Mercury, she was only affecting Yang's mind, and one other person's. I think Mercury's. I think she was affecting both Yang and Mercury at the time, because then they just had to maneuver in such a way that it looked like Yang attacked him, and she just had to see something that looked like Mercury attacking her, so that she would use a more lethal attack.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't have to affect everyone in the crowd, because she wanted her to use her lethal attack against Mercury's leg, which was robotic already, so they didn't need an illusion for that. And she destroyed the crap out of his foot. In any event, I mean, it just bugs me. Like, again, like we said on 99, yes, from the sense that Lai Ren was always shown as being poised and very zen, it makes sense that his semblance would do something like remove bad emotions, which is what we described as, like, giving them courage, or centering them. Removing bad emotions, and the reasoning behind that is that negative emotions are said to attract Grimm, but it's never been stated that a person with no negative emotions is invisible to Grimm, so that's kind of an assumption. And also, if a person with no negative emotions is invisible to Grimm, why do they have eyes? And what do their eyes see, if not things in front of them? How do they see trees? Are you telling me that trees have negative emotions, Alex?
Maybe they see somewhat, but like when there's like negative emotions and stuff, perhaps that's almost like a heat sensor for them, like almost like infrared. And they're
honestly,
like,
this reminds me of like Predator and Predator 2, the movies, where you've got this super advanced alien who's just running around and knocking everybody off the food chain, just total dominant alpha male, undefeatable god, and then it dumps its mask, which has all these vision enhancements in it. In each movie, this happens at some point where the mask gets lost, and you see the Predator's normal vision, or what they say is its natural sight, and it's like some cloudy, foggy, crappy, wannabe infrared vision, and it's like, how do these things see? It's like, no wonder they have these masks that give them all these different vision modes that they can flip through to hunt their prey, because without the mask at all, they can't see for crap.
well,
they always have these scenes where they're chasing the main character, whether it's Arnold Schwarzenegger or Danny Glover, and you're like, what am I looking at? Is that Arnie? Is that a shoulder? No, that's he's flipping the thing off. No, he's not. That was a leaf. It's like, you can't tell what the hell you're looking at.
well, Tristan, guess what has masks in RWBY?
No, that's bull. Those are natural bone formations.
Oh yeah, they're bone masks.
Yeah.
Don't give me that crap. They're bone masks.
Bone masks with special electronic vision modes like the Predator inside them.
Well, I mean, look at the first creature that they fought, the giant rock creature that they didn't do their formation
they didn't use their plan on. They came up with a plan and then didn't execute it.
They destroyed it, but then it's like some spirit thing, and they had to shoot the mask to kill it.
I mean, yes, but I think that was more because it was a non-physical Grimm. It was some new kind of Grimm that basically, like, inhabited natural objects. That's why I could just, like, pick up the tree and use it as a limb, was that this is not like your regular Ursa or Deathstalker, which is an animal with these weird bony protrusions. It's like more like a ghost that jumps into things and brings inanimate objects to life to use as a body.
I'm just saying, maybe they should start aiming for the faces, and they would kill it in one hit, maybe.
I mean, maybe. A lot of them seem to have scars around their masks.
Scars?
Yeah.
I thought it was... What are you talking about? You're not talking about the red marks.
Markings. Yeah.
I thought the red marks were just like symbolic almost.
Sometimes it looks like tribal tattooing and stuff like that, but other times they're like X's and like slash marks that look like injuries or past injuries or ghosts of injuries or whatever. I mean, I'm thinking of like the giant monkey that RWBY fights in the intro for season 4, the teaser trailer. That thing was covered in scarring, and it was all like glowing angry red.
I don't know.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff we just don't know.
Don't know.
Not well explained.
It's okay. Maybe volume 5, some stuff will get explained again.
Yeah, maybe
now that they're all going to join up together.
Yes, because everybody else got there, the same day as RWBY because they flew.
We don't know if it's the same day.
I think we're pretty sure though, because like when Weiss leaves, she gets on the plane and the guy tells her he can take her as far as X, and that's like a 12-hour trip away, and that's when she has to like duck out because there's going to be like a cargo hold check or something there. Might even have been Mistral, but I thought it was somewhere not Mistral that he had to dump her first. I don't remember.
Don't know.
Yes. In any event, it was made to seem like everybody else got there much more easily.
Well, that's what happens when you journey on foot.
Yeah, so why would you do it? Also, yay or nay, did you like or dislike the very much... My friend Sam and I felt strongly that all of the episodes involving RWBY and Team Juniper had a very this is an animation, a recording of our Dungeons and Dragons game feel to them.
I don't quite understand. What exactly are you saying?
They travel from one town to the next fighting monsters while looking for something not specified.
So basically you're saying is they just did... Essentially it was RWBY and D.
Yeah, I mean, that's really...
RWBY and Dragons.
But it had a very, very powerful, overwhelmingly obnoxious feel of this is a D&D game, and now they have to... They're on a boat, so they're going to fight a water monster. They're in a forest, so they're going to fight a forest monster. They go to this town, so they're going to fight some bandits.
Oh, yeah, so you're basically talking about, like, one-off.
Yeah, they're all like one-off D&D sessions. Each episode felt like a session of a D&D game.
I don't know. I think the kind of the RWBY adventure, like the RWBY group, not necessarily like Blake when she's fighting the sea creature. I wouldn't say that.
The Blake when she fought the sea creature was one of the major ones where we went, oh, it's the next session of D&D. Now they're fighting a water monster because they're in the ocean.
Nah, I wouldn't say that.
Okay, you wouldn't say that. I would.
The RWBY one is more like it because they're actually, once again, traveling on foot, going from one place to the next and fighting things. While Blake was actually just, I don't know, Blake's part didn't seem like D&D. Weiss didn't seem like D&D. Most of Blake's part
didn't. And no, most of Weiss's didn't because they weren't adventuring. They were having
Yang
the actual talking and story building. But, I mean, Blake on the boat fighting the sea creature.
No, that didn't seem like it, no.
You haven't played a sea adventure in D&D, then.
I haven't, but just because... Okay, what else are they going to bring? Oh, no, there's freaking tiger things on the ship somehow. Somehow we didn't see them.
I mean, maybe they broke out of their cages. That would be a very good D&D encounter.
They're not going to bring Grimm onto the freaking ship in cages.
Why wouldn't they? You think that there's this whole world where people are fighting Grimm, and there are ancient Grimm, and there are little Grimm and big Grimm, that someone out there isn't like, I'm going to make a Grimm zoo. It's going to be amazing.
And I bet that the people that are running the ship are like, no, we don't want these liabilities on here.
You know, maybe the guy running the ship is on the take. Maybe he's getting a little extra something under the table for transporting these Grimm to the Grimm zoo. It would be amazing.
Apparently he wasn't, because the captain seemed to be a nice fellow.
I mean, my guy seemed to be a nice fellow, and he was chaotic evil.
Did you cast insight, Alex?
Did you cast insight on the captain?
I can't. Blake apparently cast insight, and she trusts him.
I don't trust him.
They're in the water, so they don't have much to go with other than another creature that's in the water.
Not saying that it doesn't make obvious sense. It just felt like here are episodes of D&D. That's what
RWBY's was more was the only thing that came to me, because it was like, okay, shadow creature, dead. Okay, this guy that's following them, attack them and stop him. Oh no, someone got poisoned. We better find a way to get him unpoisoned. Oh no, now it's this big creature that's going to attack us. This mega boss. We better kill him.
Yeah, Crow was the group's cleric. He got taken out, so he couldn't heal anybody after that.
He was the cleric.
They were lost without his guidance. I mean, it's true. You saw it happen. They, fell apart. They split up. You never split the party. You saw what happened when they split the party.
To be fair, they were doing okay before he showed that he was following them. And then that kind of screwed it all up, because they're like, oh, he was following us, so that's why we were doing okay.
Yeah, but it was also totally RWBY's fault that he got poisoned.
Well, she's still inexperienced.
Yeah, and she also can't follow direct orders, which is like, don't get involved in the fight so that I can fight at my full capacity without worrying about you.
Listen, RWBY is chaotic good.
This isn't even my final form, Alex. My final form is Bala.
No, Bala will die when I reach level 20 and I can fly.
Oh, dear.
Do I get to attack 3 times a turn at any point?
I don't actually know. I don't think so. In 3.5 edition, it was possible to attack up to 4 times in a single turn if you had a speed weapon, which gave you an extra attack. But it also worked differently in 3.5. In 3.5, you would choose to either move and attack once, or take a full round action attacking, so you couldn't move. But if you took a full round action to attack, you could attack your maximum number of times, which was dictated by your base attack bonus. And so for fighters and paladins, that could be 3 times depending on their level, or 4 times if they had a speed weapon and they were high enough level. So I was playing a paladin in 3.5 who got 4 attacks because I had a speed weapon, but that meant that I couldn't move because I gave up my move action to take a full round attack.
Once, twice, 3 times the paladin.
I could also crit on a 17.
Oh my gosh, I hate you.
But you had to confirm criticals in 3.5
because you don't have enough freaking easy time critting us.
Well, they took all that out. In 4th edition, I think the best crit range you could get was 19 to 20, whereas in 3.5, I think the best crit range possible is either 17 or 16 to 20. 19 to 20, which is 2, and then you doubled it to 4, so 17 to 20, yeah. 17 to 20 was the best crit range in 3.5.
Just play better, Alex. That's all you gotta do.
Yeah. Get good, noob.
So no, I think I played pretty well.
Is there anything else you wanna just talk about D&D stuff or any other big topics?
Well, did you beat Nioh yet?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. How did it end?
Actually, I'm kind of torn with it because, when I really look back at it, it's a really simplistic concept, but I did enjoy it, and I did enjoy the style of the game, a lot of the mechanics, everything in it, but I wasn't, blown out of the water at the end.
I was blown out of the water.
So yeah, I beat the game, which is actually kind of interesting. When you beat the game, it's technically not the last mission. They roll the credits after you beat the main bad guy. Should I, say spoilers right now? It's
yeah,
say...
I don't care. Do it.
Alright, so a bit of spoilers if someone is going to play it. So, in the whole scheme of things, you travel to Japan just to get back your guardian spirit, and you end up helping a ninja, Hanzo, with his stuff that's going on in the country, because it's along the same... They have the same goal, because Edward Kelly is causing a lot of problems in the country with influencing the lords, and there's the war. It causes war. And
those damn Europeans always messing up Japan.
Yes. So in the end, all you do is you finally get to Kelly. He's sad that he had to use up all his energy he's been storing up, his Amrita, and you fight the big boss at the end, and then you kill him. That's it, and you get your spirit back.
That's it, man.
That's it. Wow. And he's like, you haven't stopped anything. And then...
you're like, I didn't come here to stop anything. I came here to get this.
Yeah, you go to find out that he was just a clone anyways. He wasn't... And there was a guy back in Europe who was the one getting all the Amrita sent to him. And actually what was sad was the final boss is a lot easier than the previous boss. And... the fight just before the boss was harder than the boss itself.
Yeah. He was easier than the first boss you fight.
Yeah, it was pretty sad. Actually, there's a couple subquests that were actually harder than the final boss.
Maybe you were just over-leveled.
No, not at all. The subquests, I I completed the game at 112, and the final area was 140 was the level range for it.
Everybody's going to be like, I beat the game at level 60, you're a noob.
Get good.
You good, noob?
At the end of the game, it unlocks a whole new area, which is the same areas you've been, but the enemies are higher. Actually, the AI are a little bit more intelligent, which was nice, and the bosses have different mechanics. They do a few different things. Haven't seen anything outrageous yet, but I'm hoping the final boss will be more of a challenge.
So they're doing what a lot of games are doing now, where they're like, here, the bonus content is you replay through the game, except it's harder.
Yeah.
Play it on hard mode.
And it's like, that's not bonus content. That games do that anyways. That's why they have easy, normal, hard.
Yeah.
And they also give you're able to obtain divine weapons. It's a new rarity of the weapons of the game. So you can go through and play the old areas to get your divine weapons and armor. So
that sounds really grindy. Way too grindy for a single player game for me.
Well, you could play with you could summon people into your matches and fight stuff.
Oh, so it really is a Dark Souls clone.
Yep, just with Japan.
Yeah, he told us about that. When he talked about it.
Yep.
I don't remember comparing it to Dark Souls, but I recently watched
the Yokai Gate.
Yeah. It's...
I got stuck on the word yokai. I don't remember Dark Souls coming up. What I do remember is, like, yesterday watching Zero Punctuation talking about it and calling it a Dark Souls clone.
Yeah, but Zero Punctuation basically bashes, like, everything.
Yes, that's what makes them good.
It is a Dark Souls clone, but it does have a few more mechanics that are really make the game a lot of fun, too.
Because he will nitpick the crap out of everything. And
I know, but he makes it hilarious.
Yes. And he doesn't sit there, and unless a game is really amazingly good, he doesn't sit there and say it's good. He says, this is what I did, this is what it was like, and these were the problems I found. It is a relatively unbiased, just examination. He's not going to say,
I haven't watched him in so long. Tomorrow I'm just gonna go on a tear of Zero Punctuation.
All Zero.
I wonder what the last video I saw of him was.
Jeez, I don't know. I watched like 3 yesterday. I had to work from home, so I watched that.
Well, all in all, yeah, I had a lot of fun with the game. I enjoyed it.
That's good. I have too many D% dice, guys. I have 7 D%.
I'll stop it.
I mean, I need a couple D%. I just don't need 7.
So that was our game talk for this episode. Next episode, get ready as I basically tell everybody what I did on Mass Effect Andromeda for my first day.
He took his pants off and banged everyone he could.
Well,
I am going to find the person I'm going to bang. Like that's like the number one thing on my list to start looking for when I start playing instantly. I'm like, okay, which girl is it?
It's gonna be one of the guys.
Yeah.
I guess I can't. I can't dismiss the guys automatically.
You should not.
I mean, I never banged one of the guys in the first 3 Mass Effects, but if I did, it probably would have been Garrus, like everybody else.
Isn't he one of the like reptilian-looking aliens?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's a badass.
Oh. Do you think he pitches or catches?
Oh, if he's a badass, he's probably the one that wants to dish it out.
I don't know, because I didn't see the guy, so.
He's a robot. He's so upset he's roboting about it. He's hashtag rage quitting the podcast.
I'm not rage quitting the podcast.
Well, hopefully that discussion will keep Joseph to make sure he comes. Or I shouldn't say keep. It should be alluring enough to make sure Joseph is here on that podcast.
I'm sure that...
No, because he's going to play it, so I don't think he wants to listen to me talk about it.
Well, he better be playing it then.
I doubt he's going to get it when it comes out.
Okay, guys, I'm rage quitting the podcast.
Aw, Tristan, no.
We're going to sign off.
Oh, God. Robot Tristan.
Sign off. End it.
Why?
Now, no, Tristan. I can't hear anything.
Are we roboting for you?
Ah!
Yeah, it's time to go.
Oh,
Good night, everybody.
Alright, you guys are clear for me. Alright, good night, everybody.
I'm waiting for the hashtag.
Hashtag goodbye.
Can't hear anything again. No! I have to do my outro.
Do it.
Can you hear me?
Yes. You're crystal clear.
Goodbye.
Tristan,
I was going to bamboozle, but I decided against it.